This is the Predator X34A, the top-end gaming monitor from Acer. Packing a resolution of 3440 by 1440, a rich IPS panel, and a refresh rate of 100Hz, this could well be the ultimate display. But is it the best display on the market, and how does it compare to the Asus PG348Q? Join me for the full review to find out. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video in the studio. Now today we're doing the video I've been waiting so long to do, and I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this as well, and it's the review of this beautiful thing right here, which is the Acer Predator X34A. Now of course everyone really knows the story about the Acer Predator. When it came out, the X34 was regarded as the best gaming monitor out there. But there's been a few issues, quality control issues. There has been an Asus rival that had more adjustments, and now we're at the stage where Acer have released the X34A, which is a slight tweak, slight revision to the original X34, mainly bringing with it a better stand that has all the adjustments you would ever want. But is this a good gaming monitor? Is this the best gaming monitor? And how does it compare to the PG348Q from Asus? All will be revealed in this video. But before we get there, it's time to take a proper look at the monitor itself, and to do that we have to put it on the desk. And immediately you'll notice this is one good looking display, whether it's on or whether it is off. This is a very minimalist design. I mean, Predator branded stuff is often quite over the top, and other than the Predator logo that's right in the middle of the monitor, which personally I don't really like, I can get over it, it's not a massive deal, but personally I'd prefer if it just said Acer, but this of course is part of the Predator line, so it has the Predator branding. But aside from that, I really like the overall look and appearance of the display. The stand itself, it does a very good job of supporting the monitor. This time on the X34A, it's got all the adjustments you would want. So it's got swivel, so left and right, tilt up and down, and it's also got height adjust. So no matter what sort of size desk you've got, as long as you can accommodate a large 21:9 for 3440 by 1440 display, then you're going to get on with this very well and you shouldn't have any problems. But if you do, it does have a VESA mount, so you can mount this on a third-party display mount if you prefer. As for the bezel on the display, there's not really much to complain about here. For the most part, it's very small. There is a sort of faux bezel, so while you've got your outer bezel that you can see when the monitor is off, when you do turn on the display, there is a slight black box around the outside of the display area, but it's still very minimalist, and I don't think anyone's really going to have any complaints. But it certainly is worth noting that once you get this thing turned on, you will notice that there is a slight black box area, but pretty much all the competition is doing this anyway, and it's not really that much of a big deal. So overall, I really do like the front of the display, but there is one massive thing to mention before we talk about the image quality, and that is the curvature. Now, I've said this many times before, curved TVs, maybe if you have a one-man TV that's very big and you've got it in the right position, then it might help, but for most people I'd still recommend just looking at a flat TV. When it comes to monitors though, curving them can make a big difference to actually making them that little bit more comfortable. And the reason for this is just because it's such a wide display and it's such a large display and it takes up quite a large amount of your peripheral vision. If you have it flat, I find the corners can appear a little bit too far away, whereas the curve does help just make the monitor that little bit more comfortable to use. And while some people will definitely prefer a flat display, I am definitely someone that prefers a curved display. And this one features a curvature of around about 3800R. And while this isn't the most aggressive curve you can get, the Acer Predator Z35 has a much more aggressive curve. This strikes a very good balance between a curve that's comfortable to use and is practical to use for general use, and still being immersive in video games. So overall, I have to say I really do like the curvature. As we move around to the back of the monitor, you'll find that we have a various amount of ports. We've got a USB hub, we've got an audio jack for plugging anything in via HDMI, which is sadly only HDMI 1.4, then still being able to route our sound through some speakers or something like that. But the only port really that you're going to want to use here is the display port, which is what you need for the G-Sync and what you need for the full resolution of 3440 by 1440 at 100Hz. Now, Other notable things about the monitor include the on-screen display and the on-screen menus, or the buttons to control the menus. These are located under the front of the display on the right hand side, and they're not too bad. I mean, once you've learned the system, you can sort of navigate around fairly easily, and it's fairly well laid out, and it's fairly clear. But its rival, the PG348Q from Asus, is miles ahead here. This is one area where that is definitely the superior monitor, because on that the menu was very clear, everything was well laid out, but navigating it was so seamless and so intuitive, it was really easy to use. Sadly, the buttons on this X34, they just can't really compete. But realistically, people are probably going to set up their monitor once, leave it like that, and so the buttons aren't really going to make that much of a difference to their buying decision. But make no mistake, the PG348Q does have the superior menu options here. So then, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the display and how to set it up. But of course, the most important thing is what this thing is like to use, what it's like to game on, and how good the image quality is. Well, this features over 100% of the sRGB color space. Well, I say over, it's 100% of the sRGB color space, which means that you're going to get rich and vibrant colors thanks to that IPS panel. Now, everything is suitably sharp because 3440 by 1440 is probably the optimum at the moment resolution ratio, I would say, on a display like this. 34 inches fits very nicely on your desk. There are some larger monitors coming out, like the 38-inch one from LG, but for most people I think this is going to strike the perfect balance, and I know I've already touched on it, but the curvature really does help to fill your peripheral vision. And even if you're just doing spreadsheets, I mean, I was doing my tax information only yesterday, and it helps so much to be able to just clip two applications to the left and right hand sides of the screen and still have plenty of screen real estate to work in. Yes, for productivity, two displays is still probably better, but this is the overall all-round best performer when it comes to ticking all the right boxes. And for gaming, of course, that resolution is still the best out there at the moment because you're getting that full immersion from the ultra-wide display while it's being easier to drive than 4K. And if you are going to use this for general use, then you're going to have a great experience. But if you do tend to watch a lot of 16:9 content, then of course you're going to get black bars, but then vice versa if you like watching some 21:9 content. So I'm a big fan of Philip Bloom and the sort of work that he does. If you go on his YouTube channel, all of his stuff is pretty much in 21:9, and all of it looks fantastic on this monitor. But it's the real gaming performance that you are no doubt interested in, and how this compares to its rival. Well, the gaming performance is truly, truly breathtaking. And there is one massive flaw in it, okay? And I say massive flaw, it's not really a massive flaw, but some people will point this out and they'd be correct. This monitor is not as responsive as a 144Hz 1440p TN panel, okay? It's not. If you want to play esports, then they may well complain about this display. But unless you're going to do that, this is by far one of the best gaming monitors I have ever used. Because that color accuracy, that wideness of the display, the immersion it gives you, the resolution, and the fact that you can drive it if you have a half decent graphics card at that higher 100Hz refresh rate, it's just honestly, it is so beautiful. And I said it in the PG348Q review that it sort of made me remember why I got into PC gaming in the first place. And it's so true of this monitor as well. As long as your game supports it, it's just so nice just to sit back and relax and play a game on this display. The color accuracy does such wonders, and having used a TN panel for the last 3 weeks or so, just because I've sort of been in a different location, it just makes such a big difference to have a good quality IPS panel. But being able to retain that high refresh rate as well for gaming and that level of responsiveness is just truly magical. It really is. And of course, this is a monitor that comes with NVIDIA G-Sync. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a very expensive technology, but it does make a huge difference when you're playing games at slightly lower frame rates, or if you just want the absolute smoothest gaming experience possible, then at the moment I still think that is Nvidia G-Sync. And when you combine that all together with an ultra-wide that runs at 100Hz with the color richness of an IPS panel, it is a truly fantastic combination. So I've been playing some Gears of War recently. I've been playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and that game has a slight weirdness whereby it does support ultra-wide, but some of the UI elements are sort of stretched a little bit and it's just a little bit weird, so you can expect some anomalies like that on a monitor like this. And then I've been playing a whole range of other titles as well. And it's just a truly magical monitor, it really is, but of course it's really expensive. It's getting close to double the cost of some truly brilliant 4K gaming monitors, and some truly good G-Sync monitors as well. I mean, this is around about £1,000, and you can get G-Sync 1440p IPS monitors for £500. So whether you want to spend the amount of money, well, that purely comes down to you. But it is, in my opinion, the best way to go at the moment on a monitor like this. But while all of that stuff is all well and good, I'm more than aware that a lot of people watching this video are watching this wondering whether they should buy this monitor. And this is a review sample, of course. As all the monitors and pretty much all the products I test these days, the review samples, they come in, they stay with me for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they go back. I mean, some stuff, smaller ticket items, mice and stuff, obviously I get to keep. But monitors, they always go back, with 1 or 2 exceptions. But yeah, something like this, yeah, you wouldn't be able to keep it. But the reason this is relevant, because I'm aware there are people watching this video wanting to know whether they should spend close to £1,000, or of course your regional equivalent, on a monitor. And this is a crazy amount of money. For a lot of people, this is an entire month's wage. So should you spend it on this monitor? Well, very difficult question to say, because there are very few things wrong with this monitor. I can list a few of them right now. No HDMI 2.0 with HDCP 2.2. So 4K Blu-ray player, plugging in an Xbox One S I should point out of the picture. And this monitor as well, it makes a very small buzzing noise, even when the speakers in the monitor are completely off. I don't know why. It's very minute. It's slightly annoying at best. I mean, if you've got any sort of noise in your room at all, you will not hear it. So it's not really a big deal. And of course there's quality control issues. I mean, it's the same for this monitor, and it's the same for the PG348Q. They both use the same panel, I believe. And while the panel production is going to get better over time, there's still plenty of people reporting issues with these monitors. Things like backlight bleed, things like dead pixels, to which I have one dead pixel over there in the bottom right hand corner. And they're wondering whether spending £1,000 of their cash on a monitor like this is worth it. And there's only 2 ways of putting this. If you want the best of the best out there, this and the PG348Q are exactly that. They are the best of the best. And assuming you get a decent one with no quality to control issues, I think it's the best gaming experience you can have. And whether that's worth the £1,000 price ticket, that's entirely down to you. I can't say whether that's the case. But this is the best gaming experience, I think, and one of the best monitors out there. I think the best monitor, generally speaking, out there is actually the Asus, because I think it has a better on-screen menu that's easier to control, and it doesn't have that slight buzzing noise, and personally I think it looks a little bit better. But this is around about £50 cheaper, which is probably makes it the one I would go for. It's very tricky to say. I think it's easier to say that you wouldn't be disappointed with either, but if you had to give me one, if you said which monitor, if you could have any monitor out of these two, which one would you want? I would take the Asus, but either is a very good purchase, assuming you want the best of the best and have the money to spend. And there we go. I think that has been the end of this video. I haven't done this level of rambling, have I, for a very long time. I guess it's just I take this very seriously when people are potentially spending this amount of money on a monitor, and that's why it's got a little bit rambly. But to make it nice and concise for you in one sentence, this wins the Editor's Choice Award. If you want a gaming monitor that can do everything, this is definitely the second best monitor I have ever tested, but the actual core gaming experience is pretty much exactly the same as that on the PG348Q. So there we go. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't, dislike it. Subscribe for more videos just like this. I'll leave the Amazon affiliate link down in the description down below if you want to actually go and buy this, or at least look at it in a little bit more detail. If you have any comments, I'm always happy to help. It's at PCcentric on Twitter or all over social media, or in the comments section down below. A massive thank you to Corsair for sponsoring this channel as always, appreciate it. And of course, thank you to Acer for providing this review sample. And yeah, plenty more monitor videos to come, as always, plenty more videos to come, and I'll see you in the next video.